Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. news on Voice of the People TV. I am Jerry Appelai. Before beginning the news, kindly visit our website at www.vop.ng for fresh and trendy news. And now to the headlines. FCCPC files charges against multi-choice over price hike.
Falana urges AGF to withdraw ID suit against Sowore.
Rivers August 9 for fresh LG poll. Niger Delta groups threaten violence as budget ultimatum expires today. The kidnappers killed Cardinal Catholic priest and in business NPA modernizing Nigerian ports to improve competitiveness, says Dan Soho. And in sport, Flamingos off to South Africa for Botswana tests. And in entertainment, Messi Chinwo sues Very Darkman for defamation, demands 1.1 billion naira. We'll take a quick short break. We'll be right back with more news and talking about the news in detail.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
All right, welcome back. And now to the news in detail. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission has sued the MultiChoice Nigeria Limited and its Chief Executive Officer, John Ugbe, for defying its directive to suspend its recent hike in subscription rates. FCCPC's Director of Corporate Affairs, Daje Ijago, disclosed in a statement today that the three-count charge were for obstructing the Commission's inquiry, failing to comply with directives, and attempting to mislead the regulatory body. Ijago said that the charges followed the firm's blatant disregard for regulatory oversight. The Commission described MultiChoice action as a deliberate attempt to undermine regulatory authority, disrupt market fairness, and deny Nigerian consumers the protection guaranteed under the law. Statement noted that by implementing the price hike before appearing before the FCCPC investigative hearing on March 6, MultiChoice has not flouted regulatory processes and demonstrated a pattern of conduct that undermines consumer rights and fair competition. In addition to the legal action, the FCCPC said it is considering further enforcement measures, including sanctions and regulatory interventions to ensure compliance and accountability.
Well, turning to other stories now, human rights lawyer Femi Falana has asked the Attorney General of the Federal and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, to withdraw the cyberbullying charge against Omoyele Sowore by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. In a letter of March 4 addressed to Fagbemi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, and acknowledged by the AGF's office on Wednesday, Falana argued that a police officer cannot institute a case in his personal interest. Against this background, he asked the federal government to discontinue the suit. According to Falana, also a senior advocate of Nigeria, the suit was a gross violation of the 1999 Constitution, the Police Act 2020, and Regulation 367 of the Police Regulation. The last provides that no police officer shall institute any legal proceeding in his own personal interest or in connection with matters arising out of his public duties. The letter partly read, the controversy was about Egbetokun's continued stay in office as the IGP beyond the approved age limit. However, the AGF said Egbetokun's tenure remains valid under the provisions of the newly amended Police Act, which allows an IGP to serve a full 4-year term irrespective of the retirement age.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has directed the Independent National Electoral Commission to recognize the Edozie Njoko-led National Executive Committee of the National Rescue Movement. The NEC emerged at the party's Emergency National Convention in Abuja on January 17th, which was held to fill vacancies and correct lopsidedness in the party. In his judgments today, Justice Obiora Egwatu stated that INEC's refusal to monitor the emergency convention amounted to a failure to discharge its constitutional duty, which is unlawful. INEC had refused to accept the outcome of the convention on the grounds that it did not monitor the exercise. However, Justice Egwatu said there was evidence that NRM served INEC a valid notice of its emergency national convention. He further held that since the NRM's notice was not shorter than the required 21 days, the electoral body had no reason not to monitor the emergency convention.
Now, the Ijaw National Congress and Ijaw Youth Council, among others, have warned that any attempt to impeach Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State could destabilize the Niger Delta region and disrupt oil production. The warning comes as the 48-hour ultimatum issued by the Martin Amaole-led Rivers State House of Assembly for Fubara to resubmit the 2025 budget for approval expires. The Assembly resumed after the Supreme Court last Friday reaffirmed the legitimacy of the Amaole-led group, which is loyal to the former governor and current minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. However, in a statement, the INC president, Professor Benjamin Okaba, said Ijaw people would not idle by while their first riverine governor in decades is being undermined. Expecting the Assembly's pronouncement at plenary today, the INC, IYC, and other groups in the state warned that removing Fubara would lead to crisis. It further criticized the Apex Court ruling on the Rivers political crisis, saying it failed to acknowledge Ijaw people's historical and political sacrifices in Rivers state governance.
Meanwhile, in related development, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission has fixed August 9 for a fresh local government election in the state. The Chief Electoral Commissioner, retired Justice Adolphus Enebeli, announced that this at a stakeholders meeting earlier today. The fresh poll followed last Friday's judgment of the Supreme Court nullifying the cancelled poll conducted on October 5, 2024. Governor Siminalayi Fubara had on Sunday assured the people that his administration would carefully review the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment and implement it. He also directed the heads of local government administration to take immediate control of the 23 councils until fresh elections are conducted.
Realities about allegations of sexual harassment or budget padding in the National Assembly. He named others to include controversies surrounding state houses of assembly speakership, reckless court judgments threatening to destabilize or deprive the state of funding to provide needed services to the citizens. According to him, what is coming out of the three arms of government is disgusting and uninspiring. In a new statement, however, Obi said the statement from which the report was drawn was on the general terms of the attitude of the political elite in the face of deepening poverty in the land. He explained that there was nowhere he made direct remarks on the Supreme Court ruling as reckless, adding that even if he does not agree with the ruling of the Apex Court, he cannot describe it as reckless.
On a sad note, a Catholic priest of the Archdiocese of Kafanchan, Reverend Father Sylvester Okechukwu, has been killed in Kara local government area of Kaduna State by suspected bandits. Until his murder, Okechukwu was the priest in charge of St. Mary's Catholic Church in Tachira, the local government area. In a statement disclosing this today, Chancellor of the Kafanchan Catholic Archdiocese, Reverend Father Jacob Shanet, said Okechukwu was kidnapped at his residence on Tuesday at about 9:15 p.m. but was confirmed killed on Ash Wednesday morning. He added that the reason he was killed was not yet known. According to him, this untimely and brutal loss has left the clergy and the entire archdiocese heartbroken and devastated. He explained that Father Sylvester was a dedicated servant of God who walked selflessly in the vineyard of God, spreading the message of peace, love, and hope.
May the soul of the late Father Sylvester rest in perfect peace. We'll take a short break now. When we return, Tinubu presides over FEC meeting and honors Clark Oyabola. Stay with us for this and more stories after this break. Welcome back. And now President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday presided over the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja. Wednesday's meeting was the fourth in 2025 and the 25th in the administration since the inaugural session on the 28th of August 2023. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on Monday revealed that the council members will converge again on Wednesday for another meeting. Before the meeting, the Permanent Secretary of the Cabinet Affairs Office, Dr. Emanso Okop, who represented the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, led the members to observe a minute's silence in honor of two departed former ministers. There are Edwin Clark, 97, who passed away on February 17, 2025, and Adenike Oyagbola, who died on the 28th of February 2025 at the age of 93 years. Oyagbola was Nigeria's first female minister who served as the Minister of National Planning from 1979 to 1983. Clark served as a Federal Commissioner for Information in 1975 under the administration of late General Muritala Muhammad.
All right, the Senate Committee on Ethics, a Code of Conduct and Public Petitions has dismissed a petition by the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, alleging sexual harassment by Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Chairman of the committee, Senator Neda Emaswen, disclosed this at the National Assembly on Wednesday during a probe hearing against Akpoti-Uduaghan. Citing the breach of Order 40 of the Senate Standing Order, Emaswen said the petition was dead on arrival. Emaswen said Akpoti-Uduaghan signed the petition herself instead of having it endorsed by another individual, thereby rendering it procedurally invalid. He added that the issues raised in the petition were already in court, making them sub judice. And the Senate earlier on Wednesday received a petition accusing Akpabio of sexual harassment, which Akpabio swiftly denied as baseless when raised at plenary. According to him, having been raised very well by his late single mother and having always upheld respect for women, he had never harassed any woman.
Well, let's take you to Ebonyi State now, where the police command have arrested Ovuta Chigozie from Okofia community in Eza South local government area of the state for allegedly being in possession of 2 human skulls and 3 locally made guns. In a statement on Wednesday, the command's police public relations officer, Joshua Okandu, disclosed that Chigozie confessed that the human skulls were given to him to prepare a spiritual concoction. He stated that the authorities were actively trailing the individual mentioned in connection with this case, adding that the police and the state have also recovered some stolen tricycles. According to him, while tracking a stolen tricycle, operatives of the command uncovered a criminal syndicate specializing in altering the colors of stolen tricycles from neighboring states.
All right, the building under construction in Oriwu Street in the Lekki Phase 1 area of Lagos State has collapsed, trapping several people under the rubble. The State Police Command spokesperson Benjamin Hundeyin disclosed in a statement on Wednesday that the incident happened at about 4 p.m. Hundeyin added that 14 persons had been rescued from the rubble and taken to the hospital for medical attention. He said operatives of the Lagos State Police Command have been mobilized to the scene of the collapsed building under construction at Oriwu Street, Lekki Phase 1.
Well, coming up next, business, sports, entertainment stories. After this short break, stay with us. Welcome back. And now the Managing Director of Nigerian Ports Authority, Dr. Abubakar Dansoho, says the agency is repositioning the nation's ports to enable it to stay ahead rival ports. He said that by doing so, Nigerian ports will be able to take advantage of the expected increase in intra-African trade from the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. Dansoho disclosed this in his presentation on the theme, Improving the Competitiveness of the Nigerian Ports in an Era of Regional Integration at the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce event in Lagos, stating that Nigeria's vision is to be Africa's maritime logistics hub for sustainable port services. The NPA chief executive noted that with the collapse of trade barriers across the continent, intra-African trade is expected to significantly increase. Therefore, it is imperative for Nigerian ports to reposition and become competitive in order not to lose their gateway traffic to other nation ports. According to him, the fact that port cost is a significant component of freight cost, which ultimately affects the prices of goods in the market, speaks to the imperativeness for Nigerian ports to be competitive and efficient.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria said the Nigerian power sector has hit a new peak generation of 5,713.60 megawatts, which is regarded as the highest daily energy transmission. According to the TCN, the feat was recorded at 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and a post on TCN's official X handle yesterday. It explained that the new milestone surpassed the previous peak generation of 5,543.20 megawatts. The post noted that the new peak generation of 5,713.60 megawatts was slightly lower than the all-time maximum peak of 5,801.60 megawatts recorded on March 1, 2021 by 88 megawatts. However, it stressed that the achievement remained significant.
Sports news now. Nigeria's under-17 girls Flamingos will today fly out to South Africa for the first of their two-leg FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifying fixture against South Africa's Botswana. The match, for which the Confederation of African Football has selected Kenyan officials to superintend, will kick off at 2 p.m. Nigerian time on Saturday, the 8th of March at the Lucas Moripe Stadium in Pretoria. Head coach Bankole Olowokere has selected 19 players, with goalkeeper Christiana Uzoma, defenders Anna Ibrahim and Jumai Adebayo, midfielders Shakirat Moshood and Muinat Rotimi, and forwards Hamani Chidi and Chisom Nwachukwu included. While 2022 FIFA World Cup bronze medalists Nigeria drew by to the second round, Botswana crushed their counterparts from Gabon 21-2 on aggregate. Meanwhile, CAF has Josephine Wanjiku as referee, with her compatriots Mary Unjoroge, Elizabeth Unjoroge, and Jumalusi Awino as assistants 1, assistant 2, and 4th official, respectively. Cindy Barbara Dulu, one commissioner, with Rezak as referee assessor.
Manchester United legend Rio Ferdinand has stated that Liverpool's Mohamed Salah may not win the Ballon d'Or award this year. On the other hand, Ferdinand believes the Egyptian is the best prospect for the honor right now. Salah has scored 30 goals in 39 appearances for Liverpool this season The 32-year-old's contribution has seen Liverpool sit at the top of the Premier League table and in the last 16 of the Champions League. Ferdinand, however, feels Salah may miss out on the Ballon d'Or if Arne Slot's men do not win or at least go deep in the Champions League.
Well, it's time now for some entertainment news. Gospel singer Mercy Chinwo has filed a lawsuit against social media commentator Martin Sowore, also known as Very Dark Man, for alleged defamation. In February, Very Dark Man accused Chinwo of diverting funds from shows without paying her former record label owned by Ezekiel Onyedikachukwu. He also claimed that the singer violated her contract with the label before leaving. In a lawsuit dated March 3, Chinwo's lawyer, Pelumi Olajegbensi, described VDM's comments as libelous, malicious, and damaging to the singer's reputation. The lawyer argued that VDM was not involved in the dispute between Chinwo and Easy-T, yet he falsely presented the matter in a way that tarnished the singer's image. He accused VDM of posting several videos to his millions of followers showing a caricaturist and disdainful portrayal of the claimant while favoring Easy-T's side in the dispute. The lawyer said the videos were deliberately made to ridicule Chinwo.
Rapper Black Bones has expressed his pride in supporting Nigerian fashion brands. In a post on X, he stated that he and others are proudly rocking local brands, not just out of loyalty or friendship, but because of the exceptional quality of their products. Black Bones gave a shout out to Nigerian fashion creatives, encouraging them to continue pushing boundaries and producing outstanding work.
Well, that wraps it up for us on the news at 9. Before we go, though, a quick look at the headlines. FCCPC files charges against MultiChoice over price hike.
Falana urges AGF to withdraw IG's suit against Sowore.
And Rivers Electoral Commission fixes August 9 for fresh LG polls.
Niger Delta groups threatened violence as budget ultimatum expires today.
Kidnappers kill Kaduna Catholic priest.
In business, NPA modernizing Nigerian ports to improve competitiveness, says Dansoho.
Sports news, Flamingos off to South Africa for a Botswana test.
And in entertainment, Mercy Chinwo sues Very Dark Man for defamation, demands 1.1 billion naira. I do want to subscribe to our YouTube channel on YouTube with Voice of the People TV and on all the social media platforms with VOP TV Live. Hey, I'm Jerry.
I am Vivian Oguche. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I, from social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. People's Voice, Mondays through Thursdays, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
I tell you, Takashi mutumin kenan.